So we got a Trinity Rules match. So what it means is first round is boxing. If it gets to the second round, it's kickboxing. If it gets to the third round, it becomes MMA. So the big guy is about 286 pounds, and the small guy is about my weight, 152. I'm like 155, so I'm slightly heavier than the small guy. Small guy, great head movement, landing some 2 shots already, 2 pretty clean shots on big guy. But, big guy, I think he connects a few times. He's probably going to knock you out, so got to be very careful. Right? It seems like the small guy is winning right now, and maybe he is winning in points, but he is not really winning. So, but again, it's very early in the round. It is boxing, right? And we all know Southeast Asia, they probably don't train boxing as much as Muay Thai or kickboxing. So we're seeing kind of potentially kickboxers or MMA guys try to do boxing. Looks like a little bit of an eye poke. And look at that. They didn't stop the clock. They didn't stop the clock to make sure he's okay. Interesting. So, in a way, an eye poke's a blessing. If you feel like you're not doing well in this round, you just stall it a little, right? Anyway, so one thing our smaller guy's doing is shifting levels a lot. Because, again, when you're boxing, right, you can hit to the body, you can hit to the face, etc. Like that. Looks like he dropped our guy. Probably give him a standing count. But, one way to feint, one way to be unpredictable is to get him to drop his hands a little, right? Every time he goes down, you see the big guy kind of drops his hands to prepare for body shots. So, our smaller guy is swinging for the fences, man. This might be a standing count. That's the problem. Don't turn your eyes away from the opponent. I have that problem. That's why I noticed that. So he kind of turned his head a little bit, right? And he got hit in the head. So I think our big guy needs to remember, even if it's scary, cover up and keep your eyes on him. I have to remind myself all the time. I get scared and I'll turn and run. And so it's something to really keep in mind. Small guy, I was going to say, he's swinging very, very with a lot of power, but this could end up with him being a little worn out next round. So we will have to see whether this his sort of current strategy of like really swinging for the fences is gonna sort of hurt him next round. I do that a lot, especially people with the belly. The belly's a target, right? So do a body jab. Normally when you jab at the body, your other hand shouldn't be all the way out behind you. So here's some highlights. Oof. So he ate one hook. So that was a great left hook. And that left hook dropped the big guy. So that right there, right? So see, he started looking down, looking away, and then there was a right, I think, that connected with the big guy's left cheek. And that's what knocked him down and forced the standing count. Let's see if we can see Sakan or Nick Lee in the audience. So here we go. Round 2. Round 2 is Muay Thai. So now our smaller guy needs to be very careful. You don't want to get clinched by big guy. He's doing a good job. He's got a kicking at the thighs a little bit. Very good kick at the lower leg. So as long as you can keep the distance, this is good. But if big guy rushes in, I don't know if your momentum from your kick can stop him. So small. Oh, that was a great kick. It's great. I think big guy. Wow. Okay, that roundhouse kick took it out of the big guy, man. Big guy could have a little concussion, or he's just lost his equilibrium. We don't know. Yeah. That was a pretty good kick. So this Trinity Rules didn't go to the third round, which is MMA. I think small guy did a very good job keeping the distance in the second round. Use your kicks. The small guy, even though I call him small guy, he might have even been as tall, if not taller, than the big guy. So in that case, yeah, use your kicks. That was a really good decision by him. So I kind of want to rewatch that round a little bit. So small guy's corner must have said, see, chopping away at the legs, you see. Look at the big guy. Big guy didn't throw any kicks. I wonder if he's tired or he just doesn't really do many kicks. I don't know, but I was surprised the big guy didn't throw any kicks. Could have been, he got knocked down once in the first round, so maybe that first round, he's still kind of a little bit concussed from that. I don't know. This was a very, very cool match. When I was watching this, I thought about the people I spar with. I have 3 main sparring partners right now. I got a coach who you guys have seen. He's something like 6'2" and probably 190 pounds. I don't know. He's really big. He's like big, right? And he's got 6 black belts. So he's just basically training me so he doesn't give me too much of a hard time. My second sparring partner, he's about 200 pounds. He is a capoeira guy who also does Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu. So his way of sparring is going to be very different from my coach, who started out in Taekwondo and then did Savate, American Kickboxing, Kyokushin, and Muay Thai, etc. My third sparring partner is also about, I would say, 180 to 200 pounds. And he's not as tall as my coach. He's about my height, and he's kind of boxing, Jeet Kune Do, and Muay Thai. So when I think about sort of sparring heavier people, of course, I don't ever have the opportunity to spar someone that's 280 pounds. The closest I have are the 2 sparring partners who are about my height and 200 pounds. The way they spar is very different. One's more playful. He's a capoeira guy, so he's very deceptive in his kicks and his punches, but he also knows jiu-jitsu, so he'll charge in sometimes try to clinch me, he'll charge in sometimes trying to take me down. The other guy who's more sort of boxing, JKD, and Muay Thai, he's more kind of just stalking, so he'll stalk me and make me really uncomfortable. And sometimes he'll play this game where I will launch strikes at him. He'll kind of just hold his hands there and just kind of look at me. And then he'll have a burst and hit me. So from my own experience, from my own bias, when I saw the second round, when it was kickboxing time or Muay Thai time, I thought the big guy was going to do something like that, either deceptive and then charge in all of a sudden, or stalks you, banking on you running away. And then when you run away, he'll charge in. And even if you don't run away, when he sees an opening, he'll just come in and get you. So just some personal insight into sort of what gives me a hard time. My capoeira friend, the thing about capoeira is, even though it's deceptive, a lot of the kicks especially are telegraphed. So it's deceptive, but once you know the kicks, you can kind of read it. So a lot of times I'm able to kind of predict what he does, and then I'm able to kind of step out of it or maybe have my own combos prepared. The friend that stalks, the guy that does boxing, JKD, I still have a lot of problems with him, and I'm not afraid. I don't have an ego when it comes to fighting. I just tell him, do you mind if we go a little soft? And I always, because I'm learning. I'm not the best. So that's it, man. Thank you, Full Metal Dojo, for letting me do this commentary. And for those of you watching, as the little guy, what do you think he could have done better? Did he do everything well? What about the big guy? Do you think the big guy did it well, or should the big guy have done it better? What insights do you have for a big guy to take on a little guy? Because usually the big guy will win, right? But if you meet someone that's very fast, has a lot of power or whatever, a lot of experience, how as a big guy would you take him on? This was a Trinity Rules event, boxing, kickboxing, then MMA. It didn't get to the MMA round. We will cover more Trinity Rules fights soon. So, in fact, there's going to be one in Potion Fight Night, so we will cover that when it comes. Thank you guys. Fight Commentary Breakdowns out.